Hello and welcome to another PM audio special. As the master of capturing the natural world on camera, Frozen Planet photographer Doug Allan told Photography Monthly magazine about life behind the lens in sub-zero temperatures. Stephen Milton has the story. Sir David Attenborough, a natural treasure, pride of the people. He has introduced generations to the mysterious wonders of the natural world, and his heartwarming, honeyed tones and legendary affability make him the prototype grandfather of the natural world. So imagine how difficult it was to convince this fine gentleman to risk accidental homicide by a snowmobile. Step forward, Doug Allan, renowned nature photographer, filmmaker, plus longtime co-worker and friend of Sir David. A man who has achieved the unachievable. Allan was shooting with Attenborough on the frozen Siberian tundra, documenting the movement of the Arctic fox for the series The Life of Mammals in 2001. Amongst the ice and snow of Svalbard, a snow-capped archipelago at the northmost tip of Norway, he persuaded Attenborough to risk the life of another. David doesn't have a driving licence, and never has, Allan chuckles, recalling the hairy encounter in his exclusive interview with Photography Monthly magazine. And I remember in order to track the fox we had to master these skidoos, or snowmobiles. Now it took David a while to get the hang of it. They were a bit powerful, and eventually he mastered the art, and I wanted to go and get some shots of him on one. There was one shot in particular where I'd be crouched in the snow as he zoomed past. David was having none of this, saying, "I'll kill you if I do, and the paperwork would be terrible inconvenience." After much coaxing, I convinced him to fly by me, only meters away in the snow, and at full speed. And he did it, coming probably a little too close for comfort that even I got momentarily nervous. But all was safe in the end. I knew it was a big ask for him, especially for a man not used to driving. But the shot that we got, worth every exhilarating heartbeat. When the book to accompany the series came out, I asked him to inscribe it for me. He held the pen over the inside cover for an implausible moment of time, then wrote, "This is for Doug, who so fearlessly faced death by skidoo in Svalbard." While Attenborough soaks up the acclaim, Doug Allan has remained a staple yet unseen component of the various teams responsible for some of the most wondrous nature documentaries ever produced, including the likes of Blue Planet, Human Planet and Frozen Planet, the latter capturing an audience of nearly 12 million. Since his first trip with the British Antarctic Survey in 1976, the Scottish photographer has made over 60 filming excursions, documenting orcas attacking grey whales off California and killer whales washing seals off ice floes in Antarctica, all on screen first captured as stills and film. Now, after a remarkable career that shows little sign of decelerating, this artist of the camera has produced Freeze Frame, a collection of some of his most stunning images, as well as anecdotes, stories, and expressions of his life as a research diver, photographer, and filmmaker. I just felt that there was a book in me, about the animals and about the places, with many things in there that I'd never been seen or told on television, he said. I suppose you could say it's my personalised behind-the-scenes version of the adventures I've enjoyed when working on these shows, and the extraordinary sights and encounters that have been confronted along the way. After graduating from Stirling University with a degree in marine biology, the lab held little attraction for young Allan. A keen diver from an early age, he worked on several research expeditions in the Red Sea, where his passion for photography was ignited. And it was during a regular summer stint in the British Antarctic Survey in 1981 that he first met David Attenborough, then filming Living Planet. The meeting marked a turning point for Allan as he experimented beyond stills photography into filmmaking. I was intrigued to see David's crew at work, amazed by their goals and ambitions and what they were looking to achieve. I wanted to be part of the process. Yet charting the depths of these sub-zero waters naturally comes with its disadvantages, to the extent that being battered by icy waves of the Antarctic Ocean or charged by polar bears is now considered a common hazard. This life is not for everyone, he admits. It takes a certain breed. The coldest temperature I endured was -55. I admit that was cold. And sometimes we'll be diving to depths of 75 metres under the ice. Neither of these conditions faze me really. I have the biological makeup to help me cope, which is what a photographer or filmmaker in this environment needs, without exception. At the end of the day, as far as a wildlife recording is concerned, it just comes with a patch, and I would much rather feel my toes going numb than sit still all day being eaten alive by mosquitoes in the jungle. It's just whatever you're accustomed to. The worst thing that happened to me was being taken in the jaws of a walrus, which took hold of me completely by surprise up in the Arctic. That's exactly how they hunt seals. They wait until they're underneath the seal, bobbing up the surface so they can come up unseen to grab it. I was the unsuspecting seal that day, but luckily I managed to flash my arms around and hit out. That surprised him, and he let me go. But if he had a slightly tighter grip and dragged me down, that would have been the end of me. It's an encounter that stayed with the photographer. Honestly, it still brings me out in a cold sweat. I can remember it like it was yesterday. At the time, it set me back for sure. Now I'm always very careful to look around for walruses and other dangerous mammals. Despite a number of periodic brushes with life-threatening perils, it would seem the most challenging part of the job for Doug is extreme patience. A 1-hour programme can demand over 450 days of shooting, so a strong temperament and unwavering concentration is essential. When the crew went searching for the snow leopard in the Himalayas, Doug spent 3 months camping in the most inhospitable terrain on Earth. He saw the animal for 10 minutes. That's what it takes. There is a lot of waiting around and a lot of disappointment, but that's the nature of the job. But he admits time away from the chilly temperatures can be therapy in itself. It's sometimes enough to come back and enjoy the simple things, being able to turn on a light switch without flaring up a gas cylinder, the luxury of standing around in a t-shirt and feeling warm. That for me is therapy. That's what makes me relax. But chasing the next shot remains everything for Doug. And despite turning 62 this year, retirement is far from his mind. Instead, he's dreaming of the narwhal, a 3-metre tusked Arctic whale, which is so shy of human contact it's never been photographed properly underwater before. Somewhere there is an affable tusked narwhal, and I would give anything to spend 10 minutes in his company. Doug's brand of choice is a Canon. I use Canon equipment, the EOS 1DS Mark III or 4, 5D, the PowerShot G12. They're quality cameras. For shooting topside on the ice, the G12 is brilliant, light camera to carry around when the weight is important. You can pull it out of your pocket and snap away, and you get pretty good quality moving images off it as well. High-end RAW files, either as fully automatic or fully manual, depending on what you want. The 1DS is a really tough waterproof camera. It'll take snow, spray and splash, and it's even more durable than the 5D. I've also got a selection of different sized dry bags, which are simple heavy-duty, sealable rubber plastic bags. They've never let me down. The biggest danger is coming to shore. That's where the biggest splashes can come. So it's best not to worry about getting pictures close to shore. Just concern yourself about getting the equipment there safely. A standard Canon will operate at 20 metres below, but once you go even lower you've got problems with batteries and things like that. The simple solution is to move on to the external battery packs that stay warmer. The lenses themselves are remarkably robust, so there's nothing much you need to do with them. I'll make sure to have everything in pelican cases to ensure stuff doesn't get bashed around from ship to shore. Boats can get swamped, it's easy to damage equipment, and it's a long way to go back for parts.